on Trials and Tribulations. Hi, Maya here. In case you missed anything, I'm gonna fill you in on this case. Mr. Armstrong couldn't stand the heat and got out of the kitchen, finally admitting that he was an accomplice. Woo! We got Detective Gumshoe to do a favor for us. But the cat himself, Furio Tigre, was dragged back into the courthouse. Not sure how Mr. Godot managed that, though. Will Nick finally be able to crack him down and stop banging the table so much this time? Find out next on Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations.
What are you still doing under the table?
Nick, ow!
Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him!
Not bad. You's actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. I'm just doing what comes naturally.
That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You's calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing?
Raro!
So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth.
Ha! Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Oh, yes. Would you mind indulging the court, witness?
He never actually met the victim. That's got to be a lie right there. It's time to strip this tiger of his stripes once and for all.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited around for him, he ain't never showed up. I ain't never even been to that Tribulations joint, you hear?
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna even make my bus now. I gotta take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right.
Now this is another easy one if you've been paying attention. Or remember, if you go here, he says he's never been to Tribulations. However, we found this Tribulations matchbox in Tender Lender.
Objection!
Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you's talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant.
What?
If you've really never been to Tribulations before... What was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been snooping around in my stuff now, too? Wise guy?
It's called investigating, motherfucker.
What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no bra controlling me.
Order, order! Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me!
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But, okay. I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet with Glen Elk that day. And he did put the poison in his coffee. He must have...
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Of course, your beardness.
Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express! No more stupid questions.
Ha! No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Godot, that's my job!
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it!
Yes, sir!
The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since she's paying.
Oh man, doesn't the rule of the law mean anything around here anymore? I didn't take the bar exam for this!
Alright, so let's see here. We have... Figure the place was so I split. I heard the cop sirens on your way out. Well, didn't Victor Kudo say something about that in his testimony? No, that wasn't it. There was some about the time that the cop showed up, wasn't there? Time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30. Millionaire Radio was what? Before that? I don't know. Let's see. Millionaire Radio is 1:30. Okay. And he met with the Tigre at when? Just December 3rd? It doesn't say when. Okay. Let's see. Guy was laid out over the table when I opened the door and saw an ugly scene. In the afternoon, okay, that's fine. You opened, you saw an ugly scene, yeah, that's also fine. Guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete.
Well, Nick, what do you think? Any ideas?
He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. We need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. I've got to come right back at him with a contradiction, somehow.
Be careful what you press him on, though. Oh, you'll get penalized, okay?
Thanks for the reminder.
It's no good.
And the bigger question is, what in this damn testimony am I supposed to Maya, it's there again!
What are you talking-
That white floating thing, look!
Huh?
It's gone now. No, it's good, just calm down.
Nick?
Cross-examine, you gotta cross-examine, okay. Okay.
Are you...
Okay. Alright, that's a load of horse shit.
Hold it!
You went straight back. Did a bout of guilt suddenly hit you for what you did?
What you trying to say? You trying to tell me you ain't never been guilty or nothing?
We all have our crosses to bear. We all have to swallow the dark secrets we hide. Like me with this delicious black concoction. Somebody help me!
Courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it?
It seems you've done it again, Mr. Wright. Another irrelevant line of questioning. I must impose a penalty accordingly. Ba-bam, motherfreaker.
How about a penalty for those two jokers and the garbage they keep coming up with? Seriously, whose side are you on, Your Honor?
Well, Nick, what do you think? Wait, did I...
Turbo lawyer power! That's what I think, Maya. Let me concentrate, will you?
Nick, it's back!
Huh? Where?
Over... I swear it was right...
Hold it! An ugly scene. What do you mean?
Objection! The witness has already told us, Trite, which makes that question irrelevant.
But...
I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, Trite, or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Ashen.
Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Wright. Or destroy you, for that matter.
I guess I shouldn't have pressed him on that. Thanks, Maya, for distracting me!
Hey, you saw it
Guess I'm
first!
gonna make that special express after all.
So, to recap, this ugly scene you saw was...
Alright, Phoenix. Alex, concentrate. So he split. Maybe this...
Hold it!
So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant, then?
The Tiger's a busy cat. I don't hang around for no one. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation.
If I were to take your word for it, then where the hell did you get these matches?
There are matches just inside the front door. Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking 5 books home. I believe a spanking was involved.
Poor Gumshoe. It's almost enough to make a man cry. It's weird that I didn't get penalized for that.
Well,
Why do you want to know? Turbo lawyer power! Shut the fuck up, Maya!
I wouldn't be asking if...
So the meeting wasn't due to take place at Tenderlander at all, then?
The kid was making a fuss about coming into the office. It's always that way when I want to talk about repayments. Even though I got the best punching bag you've ever seen, if there are any issues.
Maybe it's because of the punching bag that people are scared to come? So that's why you decided to meet at Tribulations.
Objection! Ha! You're going over old ground again, Trite.
Sorry.
You just earned yourself a penalty. Now, suck it down.
You will suck down the penalty, Mr. Wright, and you will like it.
No, I don't. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, sir. May I have another? All right. What else haven't I pressed? Maybe this?
Hold it!
You mean you saw Glenn Elg's dead body?
I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some ragged bit of cloth he called a hat.
And what time was this?
I don't know. You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some ticking henpecker.
Out of interest, Mr. Tigre, what winds you up the second most?
Huh? What you think? Square watches.
Is this guy for real?
Look, all I needed to know was that something bad was going down in that place.
So as far as I'm concerned, we pressed everything. Look!
Why do you want to know? Turbo lawyer power!
If we just talk it out...
What's really stressing me out right now is I do not know what I'm supposed to press in this testimony, and you keep asking me what I think.
But
I
Nick...
don't know what I think. I think you need to shut up and let me concentrate. Turbo lawyer power. What did I just tell you?
Let you concentrate. You asked.
No.
Nick. Okay, fine, but...
Good.
I'm putting hot sauce in those weenies.
Okay, calm down, Phoenix, okay? If we pressed everything in the testimony, then all we have to do is present evidence, that's it. But what am I supposed to present?
It can't be what we sent Detective Gumshoe off with, right?
Jesus Christ. Maybe the cyanide?
The cyanide?
Look, Maya, I don't know. The cyanide's all I have right now.
I guess, but he won't crack that easily, will...
Shut up, Turbo Lawyer Power, I can't hear you, la la
I
la
said
la la.
will, not well!
I think I'm onto something. You see, my concentration does work wonders.
Really?
Now, he says the guy was laid out over the table. I don't think so. This crime photo says otherwise.
Objection!
Are you sure you're thinking this through?
You stop asking me that, please! Please!
Photo, though! What
Oh, that's weird.
the... Nick, what is that?
Who's P? Whoa.
Goo?
Someone spelled goggle wrong. That's weird. Whoa! Maya, tell me right now, did you do this?
No.
Is this some sort of Karain village
Nick.
teaches typing thing? What's going
I'm
on
a spirit
here?
medium, not a gog... Nick, your name?
Hey, you're right, that is my name.
Why am I...
And your name.
I caught Viola's.
And Gumshoe's name. And
But how?
my God, this could be the secret of the universe. It's our lives. Our past, our present, our future, every single possible decision we could ever make, it's all here. It's like I know everything. Holy shit, I know everything!
Okay, so we press statement 3, 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And we have to present the floor plans here. So I guess I was on the right track, I just presented the wrong photo.
Objection!
You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre?
No one escapes the Tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie-detecting pro. And no one escapes the claws of the Phoenix. I think it's time we got something straight.
What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning?
These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. Well, from there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this.
Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Why, that's true!
Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him!
Objection! Wrong. Have you forgotten about the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
Objection!
No. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenelg, but a fake.
What?
In order for Mr. Kudo to falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade.
That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenelg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
All right, you asked for it, your beardness. I'm gonna ship you with Jean Armstrong.
What?
Wait, what the fuck was I do? No, the real killer is...
Take that!
Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it.
Whoa, what? Well, witness?
Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the Tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The Tiger is the king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. I am the beard. It is the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright!
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You got guts? I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, don't leave me to handle this alone!
Perhaps I can, end this embarrassment.
Mr. Godot!
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no.
The serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Ah! Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
Objection!
Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack! You sly bastard, you.
Found your pen at last, Trite?
It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind.
Yes, your point, Mr. Wright?
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glen Elk was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident.
Okay,
And
Mouse.
someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Who else but Viola Cadaverini?
Take that!
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlender.
You's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. You're better than that.
It's not my fault the AC's turned up so high. Anyway, where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following.
Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true that there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. She had a kind of cackling laugh.
There are just way too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen? The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There is only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice! Once for real and once for show. And for the record, Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime was you!
Witness? What have you got to say?
That's cute.
Sorry?
You's alright. I can do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to cater a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about.
You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you missed out one real important thing.
But that can't be.
I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him. You's here?
What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre?
What a troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim?
Yeah, I loaned Elle cash, about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback day, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over.
Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Alg was $50,000.
Yeah, well, you's got the big to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I had no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. Bitch.
His motive. He has to have one. But what is it?
Alright, so he loaned him about $100,000. He was due to have a chat, kidded his payback debt. Waitress hadn't known what she'd done, everything would have been over.
So
Lawyer power!
Look, Lion, if it makes you happy, I'll tell you after the trial what I think, alright? Just let me concentrate.
Hold it!
The waitress. You mean...
The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. What do you mean, things would have been over and done with?
Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said.
The tiger's motive, huh?
I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy.
Time to drop this disc on you like a bomb. A bomb filled with...
Objection!
So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct?
I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right.
Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is really what you were after.
Objection! What are you getting at, Trite? What else would a moneylender be after than money?
Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch!
What is that?
A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber!
A computer virus? What does one of those do?
A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer.
A computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of His Honor that's from the Stone Age.
Hey, don't insult my beard. I can read your thoughts.
I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. But right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market.
Several $1 million?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way of ever repaying the money is crucial.
What?
Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. And that skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection! You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program?
Bingo, Godot.
The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder.
Of course he could, provided that he had the time. But what if he needed the money right then and there? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear.
It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? Well, if you don't know this, you kind of deserve the penalty. We need Viola's medical papers.
Take that!
In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery.
Where did you get all this info?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full.
$1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs.
Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as the morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it.
Order! Oh, order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright?
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt! On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000 and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't. And neither can I.
A lottery win.
Bingo. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means.
Crazy.
He murdered Glenn Elg and then made his next move. To frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection! Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it.
Objection!
But Mr. Armstrong knew all about it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigger's plan.
Order! Silence, I will clear the door!
You've put on a good show, Spiky. You just want to stay alive in the loan shark business. You gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
What?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you decided to take one more precaution, one more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright?
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite?